Yeah.
That's better.
Hey, everyone. Well, that's better. That was the first time we did it.
We did it the first time.
Hey, we want to take this opportunity and make this an official show for more listens, but also, most importantly, we want to thank you for coming out and just supporting us. And even if you didn't come out, thanks anyways.
No, thanks.
We're only thanking
nothing.
those that came out.
Yeah.
All you that didn't,
You're dead to us.
no, not that. No.
Oh no.
Well,
we still love
Come
you.
next time.
Come next time.
Well, part of this is, spoiler alert for the end of this Bacon Bit, we're going to be talking about opportunities for the future. So stay tuned for that, because we'll be doing this in the future. Joel, you look confused. More food.
so
more food in the future. That's all
Free
I'm saying.
food?
Possibly.
I'm in.
Okay.
So
we'll definitely make that happen.
Not
Joel.
birthday club.
For
free
those of
food.
you who may just be listening to this is
No.
your first episode of
Nobody would eat
Baconsale.
that except for Joel.
Why are you listening? This is your first episode. But in case you are, we had an event on Saturday, May 11th,
Yep,
of
we did.
2019.
This is already dated.
At From Scratch, where we gave away, we designed a hamburger and then gave it away to the public.
Yeah.
So it was a combination of a partnership with us, a restaurant called From Scratch, and an app called Grub Pass.
Yeah, exactly.
GrubPass is a local app here in Utah. They've been expanding, and their whole premise is, and pitch and value is to get you to all the places you eat anyway with a nice little discount.
And then From Scratch is also a local restaurant in Salt Lake.
Yep, they're there in the Gallivan Plaza. They've been around a couple of years. They used to be a bakery. They've got some good food there.
Yeah, if some of you noticed.
And generally, when you use the app, I'll just talk a little bit more about that. You will save anywhere from $2 to $5 depending on the hour that you go to the restaurant. And it's until now. And Jake, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been like Salt Lake and then Utah County area. Sorry, this is very localized for anyone outside of Utah.
This whole big event is,
but now it's moving up into Davis County.
Well, it's actually expanding both directions.
Okay.
So it was usually
Like me.
It was mostly
Not taller,
you putting on
though.
some weight.
I'm talling.
Just whiter.
You're what?
I'm talling.
You're an average.
I don't
you're
like
an
that
average
term.
height.
I'm an
Joel.
average height.
That's what you
The
keep telling us.
tallering of Joel.
So no, yeah, they were originally in Utah County. They've been expanding into Salt Lake. They're still like I talked to our partner there just a few days ago, and they're like 15 or 20 new restaurants in Salt Lake are about to come available.
Yeah.
But he's expanding all the way from Brigham City until it's at Payson.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, so it's the whole Wasatch Valley. And so that's what's coming. And he said his goal is, and I'm not sure what the timeline is, but that any person with the app doesn't have to drive more than 2 or 3 miles at any point to open
Because
the
it's
app.
all location based. So when
Exactly.
you pull up the app, it will show you the closest restaurant to you
Also-
and help you
also-
decide where to eat.
Really cool thing they just added. He added 100 food trucks.
Oh, food trucks.
Food
Love
trucks.
it.
They need a discount.
They do. They're kind of pricey
Every time I go to
sometimes.
food trucks, I'm like, really? Your overhead is so low. Why are you charging
I
so
know.
much?
It's like $11 for that sandwich. Like,
Yeah.
Is it that cool?
For a waffle?
Yeah. So it actually is really cool for locating.
Food truck show. Save it for a food truck show.
Yeah, we'll have that.
Oh, my word.
Anyway.
It's called the Salmonella Show.
You are so weary of
people
food
that
trucks.
give you food out of their truck.
It's delicious.
But we had a really, really good event, and it was awesome getting to see you guys.
It was
And
really.
I got to say, hold on.
Yeah.
So our original plan, listener, was, you remember the little table right as you walked in, right in the front? Our plan was just to sit there, stand, greet a little bit, and then...
Like, be the host. Like, welcome. We're your concierge.
Let's
Yeah.
rewind just a little bit here.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I want to get into your gentleman's psyche.
All right.
Driving up to the event before it started, before we knew who was going to come, who was there. When you're just driving there, what were your guys' thoughts, feelings, and hopes and dreams?
Wow, this is going to get real deep. Well, I've done stuff like this even recently with the Radio Ronin meet and greets.
Right.
And where we've given out free t-shirts. So I know people will show up, to meet you. And we've also done the improv one for us, and a ton of people showed up.
Yeah.
I was really worried about this one for some reason, though, because it was middle of the day on Saturday. And yes, it was a free burger, but I was like, we're going to get a dozen people. I was just quite nervous. What about you guys?
You sure you weren't just like thinking about something completely different? Like, where should I go on a date tonight?
Well, it was like IKEA. IKEA was the
IKEA,
answer.
maybe.
You did have IKEA on your
Yeah,
mind.
I really did.
Yeah, I mean, IKEA
Can
can
I
be
go
very
buy some
distracting.
furniture?
Yeah, no, for me, I knew people were going to show up. I didn't know how busy it was going to be, and that concerned me. So, like, the main thing for me was it was like I wanted to hit this perfect middle ground of I don't want it to be like this absurd attendance so that the restaurant never has a chance. And so that it's just awkward and no one has a good experience. Yeah. But it can't be too small because that would just be kind of sad and pitiful. And what happened was, I think, a perfect middle ground because we were there. There was, I don't know,
6.2 million people.
There was at least 6.2 million people. Before the doors opened, there was a nice crowd of people, and then in 10 minutes the restaurant was full.
So
And then they stood outside. I felt bad for everybody. They stood at the doors for half an hour or more.
And we talked to a lot of you about this, but I don't remember who I told what. So I'm just going to say the same thing basically I said to some people in there. So we were inside getting set up, and the owner was a little bit delayed, so we didn't have the table set up the way we wanted it to. So we were trying to figure out how to do that. And then the server that was there, he didn't really have a full understanding of what was going on. So we told him, these people are out here waiting to come in, and they're going to do this. And he got this look in his eye like, oh no. So he started hurrying.
He was like, oh holy crap.
He started rolling up silverware and trying to get ready. And so we were looking at the clock like it's 4, and he was still trying to get stuff ready. So he wanted to make sure that they were prepared for that initial rush.
I loved looking out those windows and seeing our fans that we know from mostly social media at this point, a few we've met in person, interact the way they did.
That was cool.
We were sitting there totally pointing people out like, I think that's so-and-so. Oh, that's so-and-so. Oh, that's so-and-so.
Yeah, somebody came up to me and they're like, okay, who is who?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it'll take a while. You know.
Yeah, here's your name tag.
And
yeah, we should have had name tags.
do you know what I really liked was a comment on Twitter. This is from Crew Detler afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Drew, who flew in, which was cool.
He rerouted his flight back home so he could have a 5-hour layover in Salt Lake.
Well,
Pretty
very
sweet.
clever, very clever. But no, he had a thing where it was really cool seeing us. Then he tagged us, but he was like, the real prize was getting to hang out with, and then he tagged everybody else he got to meet. And I was like, that's nice.
Can I tell you guys something?
Huh.
So I was happy to get the food, free food. That was awesome. I was happy to meet people. That was cool too. My favorite thing though was watching our listener interact with our other listener. Like seeing them actually
both of them.
Yes, both of them. But like seeing them both
multiplied to
listeners,
2.
seeing them actually like interact and have fun with each other and talk to each other and get to know each other. I felt like, this is just the dad of me, but I felt like a proud parent being like, oh, look, they're getting along.
Baconsale brings people together.
Well, somebody did come up to me, and I forget who it was. Tell me if you're listening. And they came up and they said, "You've done something kind of cool here. Like you've made a little community." And I was like, it is kind of like that because everyone was like really friendly and like
that was the guy who was towing your car.
He made a little community.
He was swearing, Jake. Not very friendly.
Look, I have a selective memory about that. Okay,
but it's true. It's absolutely true, Jacob. Like just seeing those people come together, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, and then the three of us had to split up.
Yeah.
When like you said, Jake, our original plan was to sit behind a counter and shake hands and say, "Hi, this is a wedding procession. You may move on and get your food now."
Well, they were going to come to the booth, get a sticker, talk to us for a bit, and then go get their food. That was the plan.
That was
so we had to divide and conquer because we want to meet everyone that was there.
Well, and also it was a little bit of a delay getting people seated and food, and so we wanted to make sure everyone stayed happy and entertained. So we divided and conquered. We walked around.
Like we do this show, and people may consider us personalities or characters of sorts, but we're just regular people. And so,
you are.
Well, Joel, I know one instance where you kind of just have to go up to someone and say, "Hey, how's it going?" And then once you hear their name, you go, "Oh my gosh, we've talked before on Facebook or whatnot."
And that was the funnest part too. It's just like seeing people and being like, "Oh, I know who you are."
But Joel, what happened to you?
So we there were so many people that showed up for Baconsale. Like literally, there were people waiting outside when we opened up the door, and then people filled the restaurant, and then more people come in. They had to wait for a table, or they could sit outside. And I was just kind of there in the front, and as people come in, be like, "Oh, hi, how's it going? I'm Joel." And people are like, "Oh, Joel, how's it going? I'm so and so." Like it was a regular thing.
Yeah.
And I got so used to it that this family walked in, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Joel," and they're like, "Hi." And I went, "Oh, you're not here for Baconsale, are you?" And they're like, no, we aren't here for Baconsale. And I went, "I'm so sorry." And I explained to him what was going on.
You should have told him we were like a cult or something. But I said to drink this juice.
I explained to him the free burger and Grub Pass, and the wife started downloading it immediately. And then they were like, "Well, what's this podcast about?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's pop culture, music, movies, TV." And I said, "Actually, the episode's going to be airing on Monday. Is a conspiracy theory." And the wife looked at the husband and she's like, "Oh, that's his favorite thing." And he's like, "Conspiracy theories are my favorite thing." And I'm like, "Well, we may have just got a new listener."
Do you talk about Avril Lavigne and Uncle Frank?
I know. I hope he enjoyed it. If you're listening,
it was kind of great that you were proselytizing at this event.
Funny. That was funny.
Even though they weren't there for us, you still made sure they left fans.
Well, there was another
Yeah.
older gentleman who said, I want to apologize. I actually don't listen to your podcast. I just saw that you guys were doing this event and giving out a free burger. And I'm like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So, I talked to him for a bit. I do feel bad because there's lots of names and lots of faces, and I'm only going to remember like a fraction of them.
Well, that's why we would intend to do this again.
Yeah.
And then awkwardly shake hands with you and say, "Hi, what's your name? It's really nice to meet you. We met before."
But my feelings going into the night, or going into the day, I guess, as I was driving up, was I thought we were going to do okay person wise because the Facebook event had at least 23 confirmed guests.
That was my fear that if
that was pretty low.
only 23 people.
No, but then I went 23. Even if they just bring one person, like a date, that's 40 people, over 40 people. And so I was like, we're at least going to have that. And it was well above that. And so we had a ton of people. But then my biggest fear was that it'd be so crowded that people would be waiting forever. And I'm so concerned about like people and making sure they're happy. Like I'm a people pleaser.
Right.
And so like when they had to, for example, my brother came and, hey Mike, what's up? And they ended up sitting outside, which was fine, except the fact I know they have a new baby and they have their son. And I was sorry about them being cold. Even though it was a nice day, it was still a little breezy.
Okay.
So I was like making sure they were warm. Like, does the baby have a blanket? Like I was all concerned about that. And then there were other people that had small children that had to wait a little bit longer for a table. And as adults, you wait, no big deal. But with
Getting the kids to wait that long,
if they're done by the time the food arrives, it's a bad experience. So I was very concerned the whole time and just tried to keep the kids happy and like make sure everyone was taken care of. So that was my stress. And it didn't come to full fruition because the staff did a good job of managing what was this influx of people they were not expecting.
Honestly, yeah, totally unexpected. The fact that it even took a little bit longer for the burgers, but I mean, this is from scratch. Like I was like, what if we just had all the burgers ready at 4? And it's like, well, they've been ready for 2 hours.
You
like,
said, what if we have the burgers ready before? And I'm like, then go to McDonald's.
Yeah, then go to McDonald's. These were fresh burgers, and like even I wanted to eat like the second we got there at 3:30.
I know.
We didn't eat until after everyone left. I think it was like 8:30.
It was like 7:30.
7:30. Oh man.
I was so hungry.
I was a little hangry.
I was so tired.
You know, I needed like a hardcore nap after that.
It felt like the end of the Avengers, where they sit down and they have the meal. Like,
yeah, and that's kind of what we did anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then also we should mention this too, that the turnout was so impressive that they actually started running out of some ingredients by the end of the night.
Well, and we talked with JD, the manager, about this before. We said, what if we have a ton of people coming? Because we're not sure. It's a Saturday. People may be out of town. But what if so many people come that you run out of food? And he said, well, then that's a success, isn't it?
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, someone mentioned the burger they got wasn't the Baconsale Burger, but they said it was still a darn good burger. And I'll be back to try the Baconsale Burger later.
Which is what happened. They ran out of, I think they ran out of the shoestring onion or onion straw, whatever you want to call them. They ran out of that first. And so they started putting lettuce on some. So if you got lettuce on yours, that's the reason. And then they ran out of pastrami and they ran out of jalapenos because it's supposed to be fresh cut jalapenos. And so by the time we got our burger, it didn't have onion straws, pastrami, or jalapenos.
I think it was still a good burger.
It was a chunga burger at that point.
No, I think it was their from scratch burger. Essentially, was what they're making at that point.
Well, we had the bun. They still had the bun, which is honestly a huge part of it.
But then my favorite. I shouldn't say my favorite. I said my favorite a lot here. But as we were leaving, because we were all like, okay, I'm tired. I got to go home. I had to do a bunch of errands for Mother's Day and get stuff ready for my son's birthday and everything. I'm driving home and I get a message and it was Zach, I think it said, hey, I just got word. They ran out of burgers.
Yeah.
And so your guys' turnout was so impressive that you said JD actually not only prepared for a regular day, he over-prepared extra.
They bought triple for the week.
Yeah.
Is what they did like the day before. So like a 1 week supply, they tripled that and thought that'll probably be good for the weekend.
And we had such a good turnout. You guys were so awesome to show up that we ended up using all the supplies.
So they used all the burgers. And then as I understand, and maybe listener, you can update me on this as well, but that the manager there, JD, he had said that he started comping other meals as well, or at least the discounts and comping some. And then they ran out of pasta too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was
And
it the
so
vegan
that's after we
pasta that
left.
we had?
Yeah.
I don't think it was just any pastas.
Okay.
Like they ran out of their pastas because from scratch, so everything's just made. And so it's whatever they've made that day.
Wow.
And so they ran out of those things as well. And numbers wise, JD thinks we had about, in case you guys were wondering, how many he thinks around 220. He said at least 220.
That's crazy.
On the full rotation
How is
came.
that possible? One listener told all those people?
Yeah.
Well, the one listener just came back in. Spencer actually just came
Over and over and over and over. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do want to give a special shout out to Zach Western, who is our scorekeeper. I don't know if we had a chance to introduce him to many of you. Hopefully you just saw him there, but he's taking pictures and video.
He said a couple people knew him.
Scorekeeper Zach.
Yeah, and so he's from the Adventurers Out There podcast. It's a Disney podcast. Go listen, but he really helped us out. He was there right after we got there, and then he was there after we left as well.
And
so
he
thank
was
you,
the guy
Zach.
filming and taking pictures
after us too. So.
Yeah, I hope he got one.
Yeah, because we left before he did.
So-
I also want to give a special shout out to Drew Kimball, who gave us fresh cut bacon.
Oh, absolutely.
Homemade bacon.
Oh gosh, yeah, Drew, I have eaten that bacon now.
I had it this morning.
Did you?
It was tasty.
It's really tasty.
Yeah, it was it's a peppered bacon. It's thick cut, and he made it himself. He said I didn't make the pig, but I got the pork belly. I sliced it. I cured it. I smoked it. And
Yeah,
it was like, and then, lest you think he came up and handed us a handful of raw meat. It was actually in this nice vacuum sealed package.
Yeah, it's a nice
very nice
package.
presentation, and it was delicious bacon.
Yeah, I had some on Mother's Day, actually.
Yeah?
I had a couple slices, and I realized I had to eat it slowly to savor it, because it was like, oh, wow, this isn't like regular bacon. Like, there's a really strong flavors here that are worth savoring.
And please, don't feel like you have to give us gifts to get a shout out of the show.
It's okay if you do,
that was a special themed effort. No, don't.
It's fine.
That you don't have to, but that was a special themed effort that I wanted to give a particular attention to. So thank you, Drew.
Yeah, that was tasty.
So before we give any shout outs, because we want to thank everyone who's brave enough to step up to the microphone. Remember, it was always recording, but we got all the restaurant background noise. We got all of you guys gossiping. So I have so many secrets here on tape.
we actually had microphones at every table.
Yes, but I'm just going to
Surprise.
play, about 20 of these shout outs from all of you great listener out
Going to be our
there.
outro, and we I was going to say we had a great time there.
Yeah.
We learned a lot about these events, and the restaurant learned a lot about these events, and we're going to make them even better in the future.
Yeah.
Get
In
things.
fact, listener, if you have any ideas or things you're like, what would be really cool at an event like this is whatever, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter.
Sitting in comfortable chairs behind a table and letting people come to you instead of walking around.
That's what you want to do? Just kind of sit down? Lazy boys, maybe?
Yes,
Joel,
a
this
throne.
isn't a time for your feedback. It's a time for listening.
burger.
Bring me a burger.
We have learned a lot
Feed me
from
the
this.
fry.
And I do expect we'll do something not like a replication of this, but an evolution of this down the road.
Oh, I like that. Good marketing.
Thank you.
I don't believe in evolution.
We'll make it more intelligent.
Yes, but we're going to end the episode with the outro with your shout outs. So enjoy, and thank you for coming
for
out,
showing up,
for coming to our From Scratch events with Grub Pass. We appreciate it. We appreciate you, and thank you for listening to Bacon Sale.
All right, so I want to give a shout out to my boys, Brecken and Reed. They are new BaconBit listeners, or Baconsale listeners. So far, starting them out with the tournaments and Harry Potter shows. Anyway, hey Brecken, hey Reed. Hope you're having fun listening. That's all.
This is Kyler Williamson. Just want to say thanks to Kent and Joel and Jacob for throwing this awesome event. And also want to give a shout out to my fellow co-hosts, Ross and Chris, on a More Civilized podcast.
Hey Bacon Sale, this is Jim Smith. Just a shout out to you and thank you for the cool podcast. I love listening every week.
Hi, I am Bailey Sprague, and I think that Captain Marvel's haircut was really awful. Hi, this is Bryn Sprague, and I think that Maleficent should have beat Ursula.
This is Rachel Crump.
And Lauren Crump.
And Audrey Crump. And we wanted to give a shout out to Jessica Bailey, my sister. She lives in Oregon and listens to the show. And we wish she was here having a Baconsale Burger with us. And thanks, guys, for having this awesome event.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Jessica Williams. I just wanted to do a shout out for my mom on Mother's Day. Her name's Krista Sturk, and I just wanted to say I love you, Mom.
I'm JT Williams. I just wanted to give a shout out to Spencer Michael Myers of the Spirit of 38 podcast for getting me into Bacon Sale all these years ago. Also giving a shout out to my fellow listeners, Megan and Curtis Lewis and Eric Reese. You guys rock.
I'd just like to offer a shout out to Bob's Everywhere.
Hey everybody, this is Mike Finlay. I was just calling to do a shout out to all the listeners of the Supernatural Hour.
You've been listening to the Supernatural Hour at AdvancedParanormal.com.
Yes. Yeah, so go to go to that one too. By the way, Bacon Sale is awesome.
We talk about scary Bacon Sale doesn't. Oh, sorry.
Dude,
forgot this was family.
Then they're going to cut me out.
No, they won't cut you out. They'll cut me out.
No, they'll cut me out.
No, they won't.
They're going to cut it.
They'll just cut out that one word.
All right.
Hello, this is Tyler Harrison. Huge thanks to Bacon Sale for this awesome party. And here's a shout out to all the future pitch shows. Really looking forward to them.
Hey, Bacon Sale fans, this is Ryan. Hope you remember me from the Robots episode 174. It's my favorite. Give it a listen or a re-listen if you haven't. Baconsale Burger was great. Thanks, Baconsale guys, for putting on a great party. It was a lot of fun to come out and meet you and then eat that great food. See you later. Bye.
this is Annika Finley, and I'm going to give my shout out to Abe Yosby because I know his son and I know him as well.
Hello, everybody. This is Terry Finlay. I just got done eating the most amazing Baconsale Bacon Burger. So delicious. If you didn't come down to this event, you missed out. But I wanted to give a shout out to kind of a friend of mine. His name is Tyler Jessup. He asked me for my autograph once, and I thought that was pretty amazing. So, anyways, have a great time, you guys.
Shout out to Uncle Kenny for being such a good squad, and thanks for the food, guys.
I heart Baconsale.
I'm going to change what I call Baconsale to Bacon Sold. I loved it.
Jacob has the most manly voice, just a FYI. It's very important to know that.
A shout out to the guys from Baconsale, Jacob, Joel, and Kent. Thanks for making us laugh every single Monday. Don't know what we do without your show. Thank you.
I'm going to give a shout out to A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon, which inspired me to become an attorney. So that's my shout out to A Few Good Men.
This is Drew Kimball, and I'd like to give a shout out to Melissa Baldwin for introducing me to Baconsale, and Tina Bailey Dawson for being an awesome coworker.
Hello, Baconsale Podcast. Zach here. I just want to say thanks for letting me out of the bacon cave. It was delicious. Was that creepy? Did that sound creepy? Sorry. Family friendly.
Hey, Baconsale. This is Sam, the first listener emeritus, or as Kent named me today, the original listener. I really like that. I told him I'm keeping it. But thanks for having this sweet event. It's exciting to be here and meet the other Baconsale Twitter people, put some faces to avatars and Twitter handles. So thanks for the cool event. You guys are great. Keep it up.
You're listening to Late Night Hour in Baconsale with Beaker.
Thank you, Baconsale, for the grub. And if there's another podcast you'd like to listen to Plot Spackle.
Tonight, on a very special episode of Baconsale, I would like to give a shout out to Made from Scratch, to Kent, Joel, and Jacob, and I would like to endorse the Bacon in a Bun burger. It was worth the $0 I paid for it, and I probably would have paid a few dollars more. This is Mark Peterson recording.